law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend any meetings of public bodies at which their interests may be discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this provision of this act, the Hammonton Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, purpose, and place therefore published in the Hammonton Gazette, in the Press of Atlantic City, and posted on authorized premises. Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi.
Here.
Mrs. Bernardo.
Here.
Mrs. Burns.
Here.
Mrs. Fallon.
Here.
Mr. Lyons.
Here.
Mr. Pangea.
Mr. Pangea is excused. He has been on a stay-away job in Maryland, and he has been in constant contact with myself and other committee members, and he is excused this evening.
Mrs. Polito.
Here.
Mr. Palea.
Here.
Mr. Scipione.
Here.
Mr. Thomas is absent. Mr. Mento.
Here. Let us rise for flags. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, good evening, everyone. We're going to start tonight's meeting with our superintendent. She has a couple updates that I think the community may be interested in, so I'm going to turn it over to you now, Ms. Kicko.
Thank you, Mr. Mento. As I'm sure you are all aware, there was a post about a school shooting that was being shared across social media. After further investigation, it was determined that the threat was actually made outside of Atlantic County. Because this has caused concern among our school community, a robocall and email were sent earlier today. Parents and students should be aware that there will be an increased police presence at the school tomorrow as a precaution and to alleviate any concern. The health and safety of our students and staff remain our #1 priority, and we will actively investigate and collaborate with law enforcement on any matter that impacts our schools. I would also like to congratulate our educators and educational service professionals of the year, which will be announced in a few moments. All are exemplary educators and well-deserving of this honor. I was recently asked what I am most proud of in our district, and I immediately said it is our staff. They are the foundation of our educational system here at Hammonton. We are moving forward with our plans for the anticipated preschool expansion. The grant was submitted, and we are awaiting a decision that will hopefully be received at the end of next week. Pre-K parents have received general information related to the daily schedule and possible rearrangement of classes. However, I realize that parents still have many questions and concerns related to a mid-year change for our pre-K. Unfortunately, the state required us to implement a full-day program by January 22nd in order to receive funding. Although a September implementation would have afforded us additional planning time, we are held to the state timeline. There are many logistical considerations to this transition, such as transportation, meals, staffing, classroom materials and supplies, schedules, remodeling of classrooms, along with additional preschool and COVID regulations. As a result, we may not be able to answer all of your questions at this time. Additional information will be shared as soon as it becomes available. If funding is received, there's a tentative schedule of how we're going to be introducing all the different new programs. So on December 20th, parents will be notified of our grant status and information related to the program. Beginning on January 10th, new staff will work with existing classroom teachers to transition to the full-day program. This will allow our students an opportunity to meet and interact with the new teachers along with their existing teachers. Placement letters will be sent home on January 12th. Per grant regulations, class size cannot exceed 15 students. A parent meeting will be held on January 12th in the evening to discuss the new program and to provide an opportunity for parents to meet the new teachers. No pre-K classes will be held on January 14th or January 18th to allow for staff professional development and time to set up classrooms in preparation for the first day of full-day pre-K on January 19th. On January 18th, there will be an orientation session for all pre-K parents and their students to see the classrooms. And then our first day for the full-day pre-K program would be January 19th. Although the timeline for implementation of the program is challenging, the benefits of a full-day pre-K program will be felt across the district. In addition, all families in the future will have access to free, full-day pre-K for their children. And then in closing, on a personal note, I wanted to take a moment to thank Mrs. Polito and Mr. Pelea for their service over the last 3 years. We have faced many challenges during this time of COVID that involved difficult decisions. I just want you both to know how much I appreciate your support through these trying times, and I hope you now can enjoy some time with your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King. Okay, we will now move through our typical rotation of committee reports, and I would like to start with Mrs. Marinado, please.
Okay, thank you. I just want to recap a little bit about what is going on with the Waterford District and what I was trying to do. I was trying to set up a meeting where, because of this questions about the agreement between Hammonton and Waterford Township, which came to fruition actually, I think in 2020, for them to have an opportunity we had a meeting with, I believe, Casey from your office, and sent them back the answers to their questions, what we felt as part of the agreement. So I thought it would be a good idea to have more than just me and Al and whoever was on the committee. If they have some concerns, we can meet face to face and talk about it. Well, the first attempt, I think, was in October. The president never got back to you. So then I brought it up again in November, and the president never got back to you. So now I believe he did get back to you, but he wants to wait until January because of the, lame duck effect. No offense to anyone, but out of all the committees, I don't think you have to worry about this committee as far as lame duck. I mean, we go through finances, we go through buildings, but be that as it may, he finally did get back to you. But I do, wish that we can get this meeting accomplished so that there's no hard feelings anywhere. And probably in January, things will change anyway, or they may change, whatever, as far as committee chairs and that. But not everyone here, I believe, knows about the agreement and what Waterford was asking. So
Right, if you want to fill us in, because I believe the background, just so everyone knows, you attended a meeting back in September.
Yeah.
I believe you attended alone. And you had just asked if there were any questions or concerns, and I think they kind of asked you about a couple things, knowing that the contract had already been signed and that ship had sailed.
What meeting are you talking
But they
about?
put it up, the meeting in Waterford that you attended.
I just went there to introduce myself.
Okay,
as
so
chair.
and that's fine. Again, like I'm
But
just
they
trying
didn't
to put it
ask
out
any
there again.
questions.
You went there and asked this question from them,
Right.
what their concerns were.
Right, because if they
And,
have...
excuse
Go
me,
ahead.
excuse me if I may finish. We
thought you
did
were.
address their concerns with our legal
Right.
counsel. They got back an answer to them. You specifically told Al, and quite frankly, the most blunt terminology, that it was a no and forget about it. Now, I know
I
since
never
then,
said
and
that.
yes.
I never said
Okay.
that.
Well, we can always check the records. And anyhow, once that had happened, what was the point of them pushing a meeting just to have them tell you no again? I think it was kind of at a conclusion at that point. Now, I know these last 2 months, Mr. Pangia has not been in attendance, and it seems like you've had a lot more to say than you ever had to say from your committee about Waterford and trying to get meetings, but I appreciate, your approach of trying to bring the schools together, but in all reality, you're talking about a contract that is a 10-year length that was signed 2 years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of a moot point. But if you want to form morale to get together and talk with the Waterford people, perhaps, we could set up a meeting, like we said, after the holidays.
Well, I mean,
and
there
we could
doesn't
get
have to
together.
be, Casey is the person who listens to, Robert, am I right or wrong?
Can I jump in,
Listens to
because
all-
I was also in the meeting with you on that committee, and Casey was there, I believe Erica
I
was
was
also
there
in
also.
attendance as well.
Yeah.
And Al, I believe Al was there
He was
as
there,
well.
yes. He was at
Because
the
it was
first one.
on like a Zoom, so I'm trying to put it all together. Okay. And I remember we went through all of the items that were questioned
Right.
by Waterford, and Casey gave us her legal opinion, and we agreed with her opinion. We relied on her opinion, and that was it. There was no no. It was,
No, I don't
these are
remember
your
that.
concerns, here's our,
Answer.
these are answer.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there was any hard feelings or sternness, or I don't know how that mischaracterization came out. And I'm here to say I was attending, and it was a very cordial professional meeting.
Absolutely. And
So I don't know how we can comment on it when you weren't there.
I'm
unless-
commenting about what was discussed amongst the entire board during a closed session meeting, when we talk about contracts and things of this type of nature typically. But for some reason, I just did not like the look that we have a board member who's not here, yet he is the hottest topic of conversation these last 2 months. So I really think if you truly want to have a dialogue, let's wait for the man to be here and include him on the conversation rather than talking about conversations that were had in the past and actually were resolved in the past.
But that doesn't have anything to do with it. Maybe if Al would attend meetings, this wouldn't happen. We can't keep waiting for when he's
I
available.
know, that's,
for
you
a
have to
meeting.
get that in, that's the second month. I know that is.
And he doesn't
like a-
always
like-
come to
like-
the
like-
sending
like-
receiving
like I
meetings
said,
either.
what
I don't-
I would prefer if you would give the man the respect to save these type of comments until when he's here. And that's all I'm asking.
What
But if you want to
comment?
continue,
I don't
And,
understand
you
how
know,
this
talk
gets
about
to
Al
be
when he's
so
not here.
antagonistic. All I'm trying to do is get a meeting so they can publicly say to your face, you know, what their concerns are. Casey is the one who brought our concerns back to them. All I ever said was this was a contract that was due in 2020.
okay.
So I don't see how I'm being hostile or antagonistic or by trying to
Those
get a
weren't
meeting.
my words. What I'm
Trying
saying
to
is,
get a
I
meeting.
think
If
this
I'm being
conversation
hostile
should
by-
be held with the person you want to have a meeting with.
Well, then
You're
maybe-
talking about
maybe you
meeting
should
with
attend
people from
meetings. That's all I
Waterford.
have to
And the
say.
Waterford representative, as you know, is on a stay-away job. This is a volunteer position. So I think these comments should be held until the man is in the room.
What comment, that I want to have a meeting?
I don't think she's
Comments
commenting on
about
Al
not
first.
being able to get meetings and trying to arrange a meeting with
Right.
people who aren't even here. It's the second month we've discussed it, and I made it very clear to you.
Right, that's why I
that
keep bringing it
I
up.
spoke with the president, and he understands that the contract is the contract. This type of meeting that you're trying to talk about, and as you had said several times, Casey, gave
Right.
us an interpretation, it's a moot point, Barbara.
Well,
It's-
Al
it's time to
sat
move-
there and
It's time to
said
move on.
at the November meeting that he, Mr. President, I would like, the members of my board would like to have a meeting with your board. So that's when I asked Robin to send another email. That's the only reason I asked her, because he brought it up again. I thought maybe he wasn't listening in October. And she did. Now, the president never, so if you want me to drop it, that's fine. It stands as it is. They don't have a chance to say what they want to say to us after Casey's comment, and that's fine. But, it is what it is. They want to wait until November to have the meeting. I'm sorry, did I say November? I meant January. They wanted to wait, I believe, Robin, isn't that what he told you? He wants to wait till January to have the meeting, so that's fine. Okay, on another note, I would just like to congratulate the Teachers of the Year. I think it's so wonderful to be nominated by your peers and recognized by your peers for an award. Another thing I would like to ask Toby, the woman behind the scenes who gets all of this ready for us and does what she has to do to get the meeting in order, would you mind just making maybe one copy of the exhibits for the meeting? That if we needed to get to an exhibit, we could just flip. I'm a paper person. Sometimes when you're on your computer or you're reading the notes and you want to go back to the exhibit, by the time you find the exhibit and flip through the exhibit, if it's not too much of a problem, would you mind doing that? Okay, thank you. And lastly, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish for you good health, prosperity, to be politically correct for those people that don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and whatever else. Whatever it is that you celebrate or do, just good health to you, and God bless. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Lyons, Solar, please.
You know what, I do not have a report this evening, but thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Playa, Finance.
The Finance Committee did meet. There were just standard items, nothing that jumped out that needed to be reported on. And I would wish everybody happy holidays, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and a prosperous New Year. This board has a lot of upcoming projects that are very interesting and very involved, and I wish you guys good luck in getting them to fruition.
Thank you. Mr. Scipione. Community Relations, please.
Yes, our schools are preparing for the holidays. On December 4th, the high school marching band escorted Mr. and Mrs. Claus during the Winter on the Avenue celebration in Waterford, and also attended the tree lighting in Hammonton. The annual winter concert for our high school music department will be held on December 14th in the PAC Center. Congratulations to our students and staff at ECEC in West for collecting over $5,000 for CHOP through their Pajama Day fundraiser. They surpassed their goal of raising $1,000, which is incredible, and they are to be congratulated. The Choice Lottery will be held on Friday, December 10th for the 22-23 school year, and there are 42 available seats. Letters will be mailed the week of December 20th, bless you, regarding acceptance or waiting list status. The winter athletics season is beginning. Bowling will start on December 15th, boys basketball on the 17th, wrestling on the 18th, girls basketball on the 20th. Best of luck to all our athletes and coaches. Congratulations to our 21-22 educator and educational service professionals of the year. And they are in the high school, Christian Feblis; in the middle school, Megan Goldbush; in West, Cindy McBride; and the ECEC, Judy Rybacki. Schools will be, and congratulations for our teachers of the year. Schools will be closed for the holidays from December 24th through January 2nd. December 23rd is a single session. I would like to thank Erica Polito and Mickey Pillea as well for their community service and wish them the best of luck. It was great working with you guys. And finally, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. And if you're around, come out to Town Hall New Year's Eve for the dropping of our 4th annual Blueberry. So I'll be there making a fool of myself, and hope to see you all there. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Scipione, for once again that very thorough report. Mrs. Burns from Curriculum, please.
Yes, the curriculum committee met earlier this month, and Mrs. Kieko updated the committee about the preschool expansion program, as she highlighted tonight. There's a lot of cogs in this wheel, and we'll know more come next week if we are approved for the grant. Hopefully, we will be able to move on smoothly into that transition in 2022. I too would like to thank Mr. Pillea and Mrs. Polito for their dedication to the students and the district. It's thankless hours. Thank you again.
Mr. Antonassi.
I just want to piggyback off of what Mrs. Burns, Mr. Scipione said. It was a pleasure serving alongside of you, Mr. Pillea, Mrs. Polita. Nobody takes more copious notes than you, Erica. Okay, so I'm going to miss that. You ever want to know if you missed anything, just grab our sheet here. So. And also, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Antonassi. Mrs. Found. Safety. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was going to come back to
No, I'm just joking. I really
I
appreciate
just
it.
was
I know,
thinking
it's okay.
you were concluding.
I'm
I'm
sure
sorry,
it wasn't personal.
but that's
It's
fine.
cool. No, it's fine. But, so, I'm sorry. But no, thank you everyone for the kind words. I appreciate working with each of you guys also. And I do wish the current board members and the new board members all the best. And I do want to thank the community for their faith in me over the last 3 years. It has been a pleasure. Difficult at times, but a pleasure nonetheless to serve our children. Sorry. I get emotional. I'm a teacher. I'm a little baby at times. But I also wanted to congratulate all of our educators of the year, and a special shout out to all of them, but I have to give a shout out to my GAMI girl, Megan Goglish. I'm very proud of you. Also, I do want to point out one other thing that was cool. The elementary school was doing a lot with pajamas, but the middle school was doing a big Dodge Hunger food drive and a dodgeball game with the teachers and the 7th graders. All the kids brought in lots of food, but the 7th graders deserve a big shout out because they brought in the most food and they played a wonderful dodgeball game with the teachers and had a lot of fun doing it. So that was awesome that they did that. They made community service fun for the kids. So that was a lot of fun also. And I guess that's about all, and I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mrs. Fallon from Safety, please.
No report from safety. I just wanted to note some things that are in the agenda that I noticed. We have some retirements in the agenda, and I'd like to thank Ms. Swisman, a bus driver that I believe has been a long-term, and Mrs. LaGuardia for a secretary in our schools for her. I want to thank them both for their dedication and their years of service to the district and wish them both a very happy retirement. And I also want to send a special thanks to our pre-K teachers, staff, administration, and pre-K parents for your attention and efforts in this upcoming expansion. I know we can all agree that it's going to be a great benefit to our young children to have full-day pre-K, but it's a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and I appreciate everything you're doing, so thank you. Congratulations to our Teachers of the Year. A thank you to Mr. Palia and Mrs. Polito. We'll miss you both. And everyone, happy holidays and Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with your families and appreciate that time together and enjoy. Take care.
We need a song. We need to go down song.
I do.
Finish with a song, he said.
Oh, no, I need to sing a song. Okay.
Take us out. Next meeting.
Thank you. For my report this evening from Buildings and Grounds, I'd like to let everyone know that all the guys out in the field house there are working very hard. We're preparing for the cold weather. As you know, this is almost like a small city that we have to clean the roads, the sidewalks. We have to keep everything safe for all our students, faculty, and staff. And so I want to thank them ahead of time. Hopefully we won't have a lot of snow, but if we will have some snow this year, our guys will be certainly will be prepared. Again, to reiterate, congratulations to all our Teachers of the Year. Good job, keep it going. Like I've always said, these are just the walls, but of a building, but the soul and the heart of the school are absolutely the teachers. Our professional educators are second to none. So really, we could have drawn out of a hat for Teacher of the Year, but because our staff is that talented and that's so confident, I feel that we are, comparatively speaking, to any other district. So congratulations to the Teachers of the Year and all our teachers. I'd like to wish our retirees a very happy and healthy retirement. Hope you really get to enjoy that final package that you did from the school, and best of luck to all of you. And finally, from Buildings and Grounds, bus drivers. We're looking to hire, we will train. It's not a job, it's a fantastic career. We provide health care, and anyone interested, we have a very large sign on the White Horse Pike. Please contact us, and we will do our best to continue to train up and hire some more bus drivers. I believe, Ms. Prettyman, we have 2 in the pipeline right now?
I think we do, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's good, but as you mentioned, Ms. Fallon, we do have a retirement, so it's a constant tug to keep those bus drivers, and those routes short as possibly could be, because it's hard to get bus drivers right now. You look around other districts, particularly districts where they may have outsourced their bus companies, their busing department. They're having a tough time right now. So we're happy to keep those jobs in-house, and typically they're local jobs, and we are looking to hire a few more people. That concludes my report from Buildings and Grounds. I will now turn it over to Ms. Prettyman.
Thank you. So I want to add to what Mr. Mento just spoke to, and it is the hiring of bus drivers. There is a federal law that's coming into effect in February, and that law will require for bus drivers and other CDL drivers to go for professional training. That will end our ability to train our own drivers. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is today we installed our big sign out on the pike in Spanish and in English, offering the opportunity to come to the district to drive a bus. At this time, we can provide the training. It's free of charge, it's on us. You're required to pass the written test, and then we will, walk you through and train you behind the wheel and help you to pass that test. If you come to us before February and we start your process, you'll be good to go. If you wait until after February, then you have to go to a professional driving school. This is going to have a major impact on not only our district, but everywhere across the country. Hopefully, Washington will consider a delay with this. There's already a bus driver shortage, and this will definitely make that situation tougher. And so that is that piece. The second piece is 'tis the season. I want to mention that I have tremendous staff in the business office, in transportation, in the food service, all of the departments that I have oversight. And I appreciate each and every one of them. But one person that is not recognized as often as she should be actually is here tonight. Mrs. Sharon Murray. Her shift ended hours ago, and here she is. Whenever there's an emergency here at the school, doesn't matter the time of day or night, in the middle of the night, if the fire department is called, she is here. We have as Mr. Mento mentioned, or one of the board members, we will be closed from the 24th of December until we open again on January 3rd. But Mrs. Murray will be here during that break because she has already arranged for certain maintenance to be performed while we're on break. The amount of dedication that she shows towards this district can't be beat. And so I want to thank you and let you know that we very much appreciate your service to the district. That'll be all. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to the public comment portion. This will be the first of two opportunities for anyone wishing to be heard by the board to come forward. And I would request, I know we had a lot earlier this evening with the social media posts and the concerns about what Ms. Giecko had mentioned about our police presence and everything what's happening tomorrow. So if there were any specific questions about safety or the concern of the social media posts, we do have this evening Chief Friel here. So I would ask you to come up for the first portion of public comment with any specific safety questions, if you would. So with that, I'm going to open this first portion to anyone wishing to be heard. This is the first of two opportunities. Seeing no one for this portion, we're going to close the first portion of public comment. We'll now move to the business end of the meeting, and I'll entertain a motion for finance items 1 through 18, please.
So moved.
Mr. Scipione, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Antonassi. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Attanassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion's carried. We'll now take personnel items 19 through 42. Is there a motion, please?
Motion.
Mrs. Burns, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Scipione. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Attanassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion's carried. We'll now move to the addendum for this evening. We'll take the first two items, items 51 and 52, finance items.
You missed programs and miscellaneous.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
43.
Last meeting, I figured, get
you made the recommendation. Yeah, I better start bringing the meeting process. Yes, we'll now take programs, students and miscellaneous, items 43 through 50. Is there a motion, please?
Motion.
Mr. Lyons. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Scipione. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons? Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion's carried.
At the end.
Okay, we'll now move to the addendum, and I will entertain a motion for finance items 51 and 52. Is there a motion, please?
Motion.
Mr. Antonassi, seconded by Mrs. Polito. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion's carried. We're now going to move to the personnel portion of the addendum, items 53 through 59. I see this. Thank you, Mrs. Bernardo. I see this evening we have some of our new hirees here, and just so the public realizes what we're doing, again, because of the state's decision and their infinite wisdom that we have to start this program by January 22nd, we are getting ahead of it because you can't just snap your fingers and have a teacher start. They need to be fingerprinted. There's a lot that has to happen before they can come into our building. So some of these people, hopefully, we're very, very confident that we are going to get approved with this program, but these pre-K are tentative hires, and hope that we will be accepted into the full-day pre-K program. So with that, I have a motion from Mrs.
So moved.
Bernardo. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Scipione. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion's carried. We'll now go to the last item on the printed addendum for this evening, item number 60, Program Students and Miscellaneous. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Scipione, second.
Second?
Seconded by Mrs. Burns. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion carries. I'm now going to turn it over to our board solicitor for this evening, Ms. Amy Hauk, who will read a few new resolutions into the record, and we will vote on those.
Sure. The first motion is a motion to terminate employee number 111118 as discussed in executive session pursuant to the terms of the employee's individual contract.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Lyons, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Antonassi. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion carries. Next motion, Ms. Hauk?
The next motion would be to reject the turf bids as the Board of Education will be substantially revising the specifications for the goods and services.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Burns. For the public, as you know, we did go out for bid last month for turf fields. They came in very close to the budgeted number, just slightly over, I have to say. But there were a couple areas of concern, more of the legal concerns, and the way it happened, the difference between the low bidder and the second lowest bidder was minuscule. And we wanted to be absolutely sure that this was done 100% perfectly, because the last thing we would want is to have some type of lawsuit or hiccup that would delay this project for years. So taking our attorney's advice, we will be rejecting these bids and going out for rebid, but that will be the next motion. So is there any other further discussion on that? We had a first and a second, correct?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yes.
Mr. Palea?
Yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion carries. Next motion, please. Mr. Play?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we immediately go out to rebid with the legal terms that are needed into the thing, with some other revisions that we had talked about in closed session tonight for our engineers to do. And recommend in that new bid packet that there is a specification for availability of equipment and materials so that we don't get into the fall of 2022 without the field being done. It's a short window, so I would put in the bid specs that the award or possible award be the January 20th school board meeting.
And I would just add to that the language that we would need to make sure as well that any authorizations for the project and any approvals that may be required be included in that motion.
I agree. Well, I should.
That's the motion. Is
That's
there,
the motion.
and that is the motion, is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Antonazzi, and thank you, Mr. Playo, and as we come very close to the conclusion of this meeting, I too just want to express my gratitude for the time you put in here as a board member. I really do respect and appreciate the fact that you always, put the board, at the top priority. You were there. You were in my foxhole, so to speak, through many negotiation meetings and all the other kind of tough stuff that we have to do here as a board member that people often don't see. The hard work that goes in behind the scenes. You were a guy who was always the first one to show up, and I am definitely, indebted to you for the service you have given to this school district. And Mrs. Polito, the same for you. Thank you for your time served here, ma'am.
As far as turf goes, I think I could work for a turf company at this point. It's been an interesting 3 years, so hopefully the third time's a charm for the district. So,
Thank you, Mr. Playa, and you'll always be remembered as a driving force behind this turf project. Roll call, please.
Mr. Antonassi?
Yes.
Mrs. Bernardo?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns?
Yes.
Mrs. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mrs. Polito?
Yep.
Mr. Palea?
yes.
Mr. Scipione?
Yes.
Mr. Mento?
Yes, motion carries. With that, I will entertain that final motion of the evening.
Public comment.
Oh, we have one more public comment this evening. This is the second opportunity for anyone from the public wishing to be heard to come before the board. Now is your opportunity. And I think we see some new hires here. Okay.
Hi, my name is Kristen Guglietti. I'm with the Hammonton Gazette. I live in Mullica Hill. I just had a question about the solar project. What's the timeline or the next steps? When are you guys doing landscaping or what's the next step with that?
I've been in communication with the vendor, and we will be having a meeting to go over a revised timeline so that everyone in the district can anticipate the project coming to completion. So I don't have that information today, but we will have that shortly.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Now is
If
your
any of the
opportunity.
new pre-K staff would like to come up and just briefly introduce yourself, now would be the time.
Can I pull my mask down? Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren Thomas. It's really nice to be here and not have to take notes or write about it later. And just thank you for the opportunity. I'm really looking forward to it. And have a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Abigail Adderzone, and I'm very happy to be here, and thank you so much for the opportunity to get to teach at the town that I grew up in. I'm very excited for the pre-K, starting with the whole plan and the full day. I love the little kids and playing around with the 4-year-olds. It's such a fun time, and they're just so happy to be at school, so I can't even imagine how excited they're going to be when they find out they get a full day instead of half a day with all their friends. So I'm excited to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Hello. Oops. Oops.
Okay, see, this is.
Careful, don't take that out of your pay.
Okay, no, I'll just do that. My name is Nelson Carino, and I'm just excited to be a part of this school district and this family community, and just can't wait for the expected new year with the pre-K program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome. Thank you.
Pass the baton.
Put that in.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Megan Dorner. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to continue my speech career with the pediatric population, and I'm excited to see what's in store with the program.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. All right. Took a speech pathologist to handle that kind of microphone just right. Okay, anyone else? I'm going to close the public session, and now I will entertain that final motion of the evening, please.
I will make that motion.
Go ahead, buddy.
Ron deferred Eric on the first, and I'll make the second.
Motion.
Seconded by Mr. Playa, all in favor?
Bye.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and have a very healthy New Year.